what's more exciting for you, working with these guys over the summer, or finally seeing what your conference schedule looks like and getting an idea for, just what late December through early March is going to look like for you?
What's most exciting is the new duct tape mic stand that we have here. The conference schedule seems so far away that it's out of our control, so I don't really pay much attention to it. I know we open at Bellarmine, and that was our last game last year, so I'm sure that'll be a stiff challenge. But I think what's neat about the summer is the NCAA granted us access a few years ago, and we get to work with our guys. And what a fabulous group of young freshmen that we have. I think it's as good a class as we've signed, and you didn't even get to see J.C. Schreier, who's another freshman. So I think that's what's been the most enjoyable part thus far this summer.
This is the first summer, not to bring up bad memories, but this is the first summer in several years that you're not coming off a conference championship, NCAA tournament appearance. How different is that feeling as you're navigating the offseason?
I think when you are a competitor, like that's going to be the standard, the goal that you aim for every year. I'm grateful and appreciative of the success that we've been able to experience. Certainly want to continue to elevate our program. The loss at home against Bellarmine, especially combined with the fact that Jack State lost at home and we could have hosted a championship game in the arena, sure that stings, but that's college basketball. And I think when I look back and reflect on what our guys accomplished in the year, I think there's a lot of fruit that was born from last season. You heard me say towards the end that it's really hard to be grateful for what you feel entitled to. So I think our group as a whole experienced just a greater sense of gratitude for having won 3 consecutive championships. And but no one out there wants to finish in second, and I think that's a tribute to the guys that are in our program.
Coach, this team looks very similar to last year. Do you feel like at this point you guys are a couple steps ahead in terms of preparation and knowing most of your players, with the exception of
Yeah, I think obviously lost Keegan and McKay, and Keegan was such a great leader for us and had a really long tooth in what we had done and what we're doing. So we'll miss him. But it's impossible to recreate teams. Every year your team's different, and I think the chemistry that this team has already is really unique. And I think it's a tribute to the guys that have gone before, the guys that are here now, and the kind of character that these young men have. They're fabulous to be around. So we're probably a little ahead because they get along, they kind of know what to expect. And as you heard, the freshmen, our guys have a selflessness about them that is uncommon. They really try and help the guy they're competing with get better.
Yeah, what's your message to those guys? Because David said we made a lot of mistakes, and you know that that's going to happen. So, what kind of is your message to a group of freshmen like that are coming in and trying to figure out where they fit in with a pretty experienced group?
Yeah, process. It's part of how we attain growth and maturity as individuals, right? That we try and get better. The Bible says to renew our minds daily, and I think when you just keep honoring the process and doing the best you can and giving your best, I think you got a chance to experience great growth and great success. So that'll always be our message here. You hear me say all the time, you can never give away what you don't possess. And I think we as a staff, as a program, have experienced grace in our own individual lives. So I think a player making a mistake is just natural. And man, as much as we'd love for it to be like your highlight tape that you send in where there's no misses, I'm sure, Dame, you had one of those highlight tapes. That's just not the way it goes. And having an ability to make sure they feel valued even when they miss or make a mistake, I think is important.
You've mentioned this for quite a few years about how difficult non-conference scheduling is. With the ASUN going to an 18-game league season, does that help in terms of not having to fill out those extra 2 games in your non-league schedule?
No, It's been. I'm reminded that it's a compliment that other teams may not want to play you. I get that. When Darius McGhee announced that he's coming back, scheduling died. Non-conference scheduling. So we're still trying to complete it. I think we're close, and we've had to take what we can get. So yeah, maybe having 2 less games, Dame, is a benefit. But I'd love for our guys to play whoever they can, because we love to test them in the non-conference. We used to be able to do that more early, but scheduling's changed in college basketball, and the net has produced an intent from other high majors to manipulate it best they can. So the numbers or the analytics look a certain way to the committee, and that's the mode of operation for most high major programs. And I get it. Like, we're trying to do the same thing at the mid-level, but no, it hasn't gotten any easier.
I wanted to ask you about the additions, Austin Peay and Queens, to the league. Austin Peay, coming from the OVC, and Queens, obviously a powerhouse in Division II. Are those 2 teams going to help the ASUN from a basketball standpoint?
Yeah, hard for me to say. Traditionally, Austin Peay's been fairly competitive in the SoCon, right? Wasn't it the SoCon? OVC, sorry. Is that the Belmont Murray State League, former? Yeah, so I think, and they beat us in St. Petersburg 3 years ago. They had a kid named Terry Taylor that dropped 30 on us, I think. So fortunately, he's not there anymore. But Nate James will do a great job. He's obviously a former Duke player and coach. So I think that'll add value. Queens is not eligible for the postseason, but I know Grant. I think he does a terrific job. We've scrimmaged them year in and year out. They're a Division I team. They've been a Division I team for a while. So will it upgrade the caliber of play in the ASUN? Yeah, but you guys saw it last year with the addition of Jack State, Central Arkansas, and Eastern Kentucky. Our conference schedule got a lot better really quickly. I don't know what the jump was in the Ken Palm. I think we went from 25th or 6th to 21st, 20th maybe. And that'll just continue next year with the new Conference USA. So we got to get used to that.
Talked a lot about all the players coming back, but off the court you've got some new faces, new roles for guys. How are you all meshing as a staff so far?
Yeah, I love the group that we've been able to attract, and I think it speaks volumes to what our guys have accomplished. To attract someone like Rob Jones, who was the associate head coach at Richmond and has been with Coach Mooney for 17 years, and that program's experienced a ton of success. And then Rob Hornet, who was at the University of Memphis, prior to that St. Louis. We knew each other when I was at Virginia, and he was working under Mike Curtis. So we're some big shoes to fill because of just how much Coach Barrera did for our program, and man, I love that dude so much. And Coach Susi's departure, obviously we had such a familiarity with each other. I think this was one of those deals where God had someone new for our family, and I think the way they've integrated in our program has been a really positive experience for our guys. So it's early, but I couldn't be happier with their addition in this onset.
The transfer portal's been a big deal for the last few years, but what does it say about when a guy like Jonathan Jackson enters the portal, looks around, sees what it's like there, and says, "Hey, I want to come back"?
Yeah, Dame, we've had hours and hours of conversations about the transfer portal, and I think this is our 3rd year in a row where we haven't taken someone out of the transfer portal. Chris Parker came, but that was a grad transfer, so I'm not referencing him or Keenan Gums. So we've been fairly cautious about that pursuit, and we've acquiesced guys that wanted to come back who initially thought maybe they were looking for a different opportunity in Keegan and JJ. So I think it's again a tribute to the guys that we have that relationally they felt like, hey, this is the best place for me, regardless of the minutes, the stats, or the shine that you get when you put the jersey on. I think it's a testament to the kind of people that God's blessed us with. Wait. No Darius McGhee questions? Is everybody feeling all right? For Darius McGhee to come back without, and I'm just going to give you the whole picture. Season ended. He had senior night. We were recruiting. We had a plan to talk to different NBA teams, personnel. He got invited to, I think I can say this, to the Portsmouth Invitational, to the Reese's All-Star Game, and I was going to get to be his coach. He could have transferred virtually anywhere and made six figures easily. He didn't ask for one dime. And when he told me he's coming back, there was no fanfare. I just think, I said it last year, like if you haven't gotten tickets to come see us play, you're missing out because he's a special talent. But what a great kid and what great teammates he has that he would trade. I was on the phone with a person after the season that told me if he signs his deal right now, he could make 10 grand for the next month. Now, 10 grand to that demographic is a lot of money. I mean, it's a lot of money to you and I too, but when they're only getting cost of attendance, like, I just think we're privileged to coach him.